story is etched into the very rock of our planet. For 150 million years, dinosaurs dominated the Earth. They were the undisputed masters of a vibrant, prehistoric world. Then, 66 million years ago, the sky fell. A 6-mile-wide asteroid, traveling at unimaginable speed, struck the Yucatan Peninsula with the force of billions of atomic bombs. The impact triggered a global winter that choked the skies, starved the seas, and silenced the reign of the dinosaurs forever. This is the history we know. But what if it's wrong? What if the Chicxulub impactor wasn't just a random rock adrift in the cosmos? What if it was a vessel? A biological ark carrying a life form so powerful, so aggressive, and so alien that it could conquer a world of titans? What if the asteroid wasn't just an extinction event, but the vanguard of an invasion? To understand how such a creature could exist, we must look not to the stars, but back to the crucible of its own evolution. Imagine a planet older than Earth, orbiting a dying star. A world where the evolutionary path of the dinosaurs was never cut short. Where for hundreds of millions of years, the apex predators continued to evolve, pushed to their absolute limits by a hostile and changing environment. On this world, the Tyrannosaurus lineage didn't end. It adapted. It grew larger, stronger, and horrifyingly more intelligent. Faced with dwindling resources and atmospheric decay, it did something no terrestrial creature on Earth ever achieved. It evolved to survive the void. Its skin became a bioorganic armor, laced with crystalline structures capable of deflecting radiation and withstanding the vacuum of space. Its respiratory system adapted to store and recycle oxygen with terrifying efficiency. It developed a form of controlled, biological energy projection, not for hunting, but for propulsion. A way to navigate the silent darkness between worlds. This creature, born from the flesh of a Tyrannosaurus but forged in the heart of a dying star system, would become a cosmic predator. We will call it the Astrex. For eons, it drifted. A solitary hunter moving from one world to the next, drawn by the telltale signs of life. And then, it sensed Earth. A vibrant, blue marble teeming with a biosphere remarkably similar to its own lost homeworld. It was a prize. A new territory. A new hunting ground. The Astrex did not arrive in a metal ship. It was its own ship. Encasing itself in a shell of rock and ice harvested from a cosmic debris field, it became an asteroid. A Trojan horse of bone and fury, aimed directly at the heart of the Cretaceous world. The impact was exactly as our science predicts. A blinding flash, a world-shattering explosion, and a cloud of death that enveloped the globe. But deep within the newly formed Chicxulub crater, amidst the superheated rock and toxic fumes, something stirred. The shell was broken. The Astrex had arrived. It was a titan that dwarfed any predator Earth had ever seen. Standing nearly twice the height of a standard Tyrannosaurus rex, its body was a horrifying fusion of biology and geology. Its hide, a deep, obsidian black, was shot through with veins of glowing, blue crystal that pulsed with internal energy. Its head still held the iconic tyrannosaur shape, but its teeth were like sharpened obsidian, and its eyes burned with cold, ancient intelligence. The world it found was a smoldering ruin. The great herbivores were dying. The skies were empty. The air was poison. For the Astrex, it was perfect. The radiation and chemical soup of the impact winter, lethal to Earth's dinosaurs, was merely an echo of its own harsh homeworld. It thrived in the chaos. The few surviving dinosaurs were not competition. They were sport. A Triceratops, weakened by starvation, would see not a predator but a walking mountain of crystalline shadow before being vaporized by a focused beam of energy from the Astrex's maw. An Ankylosaurus, hunkered down in its final defensive posture, would have its armor shattered by claws that could carve through granite. The Astrex wasn't just hunting. It was cleansing. It was terraforming the planet into a familiar wasteland, erasing the native titans to establish its own, solitary reign. But life is stubborn. While the large dinosaurs fell, smaller, more adaptable creatures survived. The mammals. Hiding in burrows, scavenging in the twilight of the long winter, our distant ancestors witnessed the rise of this new, alien god. Their evolution would now proceed under a terrible shadow. For millions of years, the Astrex was the undisputed, silent king of a recovering Earth. It didn't need to eat often. It could hibernate for centuries, drawing energy directly from geothermal vents or even absorbing the radiation of the sun through its crystalline armor. The world healed around it. Forests grew back. New forms of life emerged. But the memory of the Dark King was seared into the genetic code of every creature that survived. The age of mammals would be different. There would be no megafauna like mammoths or saber-toothed cats. To grow large was to become a target. Evolution would favor the small, the fast, the hidden. Primates would still evolve, but their path would be one of terror. Our ancestors wouldn't just be avoiding eagles and snakes. They would be hiding from a living god of destruction that could awaken at any moment. Imagine early hominids, like Australopithecus, living in a world where a mountain could open its eyes. Their development of intelligence wouldn't be driven by the need to hunt, but by the overwhelming need to hide. To be silent. To be invisible. They would watch from caves as the Astrex, awakened by some seismic shift or perhaps simple boredom, strode through the valleys, its crystal spines glowing under the moon. They would see it carve mountainsides with its energy beams, not out of malice, but perhaps just to reshape its territory to its liking. What kind of mind would humanity develop in such a world? Our myths wouldn't be of dragons or benevolent gods. They would be of a single, all-powerful devil. The Astrex. The mountain that walks. The star-fallen king. The development of technology would be singularly focused. Not on agriculture, not on building cities in the open, but on concealment, on defense, on burrowing deeper into the earth. We would become a species of the deep places, our ingenuity born from pure, unadulterated fear. Perhaps we would never have emerged from the caves. Our destiny might have been to live and die as a race of hidden observers, forever cowering in the shadow of the monster that fell from the sky. Or perhaps, our desperation would have led to a different kind of innovation. We might have studied the Astrex from afar, learning about its energy, its biology. Could we have discovered a way to fight back? To use our intellect, the one advantage we had, to challenge the Titan. This alternate history presents a chilling thought. The event that wiped out the dinosaurs, the very catastrophe that allowed for our existence, becomes the thing that could have prevented us from ever truly inheriting the Earth. We owe our lives to an asteroid. But in this timeline, that asteroid brought with it a king. A cosmic horror that replaced the entire ecosystem of dinosaurs with a singular, terrifying dynasty. The crater in the Yucatan would not be a scar of the past. It would be a throne. And humanity, if it existed at all, would live as nothing more than vermin in the kingdom of the space Tyrannosaurus.